excited? Oh my God, I've just had to run over from the IT panel, so I'm slightly out of breath and feeling very old, but it's very nice to see you. Okay, so let's get Bryan and Amelia on first, and then Troy and Nolan will join. Is that okay with you guys? Do we have any Connor Army people here? Of course, what a stupid question. Okay, cool. So let's get Bryan and Amelia on now, and then Troy and Nolan will join. So, can we have a big, huge, massive round of applause for the lovely Bryan Dechart and Amelia Rose Blaire.
Hello. Good to see you all. Wow.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Lovely, Blaire.
Woo. Yay.
We made it. Hello, London.
Hello.
And everyone from everywhere else. Thank you guys for being here.
Yay. So, have you been to MCM London before?
No.
Oh, wow. No.
No.
But this is not your first time in London.
Not my first time, no. But it's
So-
his first
But
time.
for me, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. Very good. Let's hear it for London. Yes.
So, what have you guys been doing then? What have you been showing Bryan? Like, what have you been seeing?
Well, there was one day that it did not rain.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the day, that one day.
That one day. And we went on a grand walking adventure where we walked everywhere we could possibly walk. We
Yes.
walked by Buckingham Palace. We saw the gates.
Like peasants.
Yes. We went through parks. We went to, we saw the London Eye.
Nice.
We did not go on the London Eye, but we saw it, and it was great.
It looked at us, we looked at it.
Yes.
We went to Piccadilly Circus and then left Piccadilly Circus immediately.
Yes.
It was very overwhelming.
Yes. It felt a little like Times Square.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Tate Modern, and we saw some art, and we
Ew, yes. It was very good.
and then we took a tour of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh. You
really
guys have
cool.
crammed a lot in like 2 days or something.
It was
We
an
did.
epic day.
It was
Yeah,
good. It was
like-
really good.
Yeah, like you've seen quite a lot. So, coming to these Comic Cons, because we first met at Manchester in July, which
Yes.
was super, super fun. Like, what is the feeling that you get when you actually, because you Twitch stream, you know, you speak to people online, you're really active on social media, but to actually sit down in front of people, like, how does it feel to actually be here?
Feels really good. It's a lot of fun, especially to meet people that we know from our community on Twitch and to be able to, hello, specifically you, hello, and to have people share their usernames and to like be able to put a face to a name that we've known. Hey, how are you? And also, oh, this is amazing. Hi. Everyone looks like their profile picture, just a little taller or a little shorter than you expect, outside of a circle. No, it's fantastic. We have a lot of fun. And the fact that we've been able to be traveling to all these different countries and to meet everybody around the world has been absolutely the coolest part of this whole experience.
It's like being supercharged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about in terms of when you're meeting fans, during the photo calls and the autographs and stuff, what do people say to you the most, or what do you get asked the most when you're faced with fans?
I mean, it really varies, depending on, I mean, hello, my name is Connor. I'm the android sent by Cyberlife. We got that out of the way. 28 stab wounds for you know, that sort of thing. It's cool. It's really fun to hear everybody's experience. A lot of times people will apologize for shooting my wife.
And I'll tell them I forgive them, but only this once.
Yeah, yeah. Or they apologize for throwing me off the roof, and then I say, it's okay, that's what my mom did. You know? So it's weird. It's totally weird.
When you came to take the part, both of you played Blue Hair Tracy, obviously you're Connor. Like, how did you go about researching for roles like that? I'll start with you actually, because where did you start? Because it's a smaller role, but she's lived a life, you know, when we come to see her.
Yeah, one of the things that I like to do is watch documentaries. So I watched some documentaries about human trafficking because the storyline is very similar to that. So that was fun. So that's what I did.
So human trafficking.
Yeah.
And so what did you, as an actor, when you're researching, like hard, because it's quite, some of the stuff's got to be quite hard. You're actors, you've got to go there. what do you take on? Like, where does your mind go from there? Do you start to construct from there?
For me, I put myself in that situation. I say, what would it be like if I was in this personal situation and the person that I love was being taken from me, and I had to watch that and just put myself there and really sympathize with the people in the documentaries and just really try and take on their emotional experience.
Bryan, what about you? Because you play Connor. Okay, so when you got this role, like, it's an interesting role, and I think a lot of the themes that run through Detroit are very prevalent to technology and where we're going.
Yeah.
So where did you start with this?
Well, a lot of daydreaming. I read a lot of nonfiction. I read a book that I really recommend if anybody's extra interested in what it might be like in 2028.
I was just checking
You
to
wanna-
see if it was working.
Hi.
We've got a
Hi,
couple
boys.
of late
Are we supposed to walk up,
comers.
or what are we doing?
I watched a... Come on.
Are we?
Yeah, come on.
Nolan, everyone.
This is a dream come true.
Round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is gonna get really.
Did I sit here with you?
Yeah. Okay.
come on this little tiny couch.
I feel like a morning show. It's so
Yeah,
nice
you
to have
stay
you
on
guys
your
on the
side,
show.
sir.
Trust
You're
me,
too
we're-
handsome to be so close.
I'm
We're
a co-host.
used to crossing the line. Hey.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's my PlayStation socks.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, so
You
we were
were-
talking about me
Uh-huh.
before you showed up.
Sorry, Bryan, off you go. So tell us what
I
you're
was
thinking about.
actually about to say, and then they arrived almost as if on cue. About 5 years ago, I was journaling, and I was thinking I need to get real specific about what I'm going to do as an actor, because there's a lot of different things you could possibly be involved in. And performance capture was something that I was really, really excited about. And so I thought, well, who should I be studying and learning a lot about if I want to be doing this kind of work? One was Troy Baker. The other is
There's
Nolan.
another.
Yeah, the tall one. The tall Troy Baker. Nolan North. And unless Andy Serkis walks out here right now,
Ladies and gentlemen,
he's Andy Serkis.
He's the pumpkin. He's so good. You didn't even see it.
I was going to do my
Andy.
Gollum impression, but I shan't.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Anyway, this is totally surreal. Hi, guys.
So,
hello.
How was your photo booth?
It was boothy.
Boothy?
It's very boothy.
I just went to the toilet.
It's not
40 minutes.
But no. He's saying that, but he did that in the photo booth. So for all you people that did those, we apologize.
I like to do my photo ops in the toilet.
Yeah, we're training. Hurry and take your picture.
Just sitting there like,
And everyone has to awkwardly lean down, so it's like,
everyone leaves going, he's really going.
there's not even a toilet. He's that method. Poor Claire, you have like this wonderful panel lined up, and then we walked in, and within 30 seconds, it's toilet jokes.
We have some questions for you, Claire.
Oh, okay.
oh, you've got questions for me.
We always
Where do you get
yeah.
pants so shiny as these?
LA.
Aha!
Really?
Cardi B.
In law?
For my LA fans, I get all my clothes when I travel. I go to LA a lot. And I decided to cosplay as a Golden Girl. An actual Golden
Which
Girl.
one are you?
Blanche.
Of course.
Yeah.
Blanche Dubois.
She
Dorothy
had the most
Hole.
fun.
What was that?
She did.
Blanche had the most fun.
Blanche had the most fun.
Yeah, Blanche had loads of fun.
Not blondes had the most fun. Blanche has the most. That's a bad dad joke. You're welcome.
If
Thanks for
you're-
being here on a Friday, MCM.
Tell me, where did you? Because like I met like all of you for the first time in Manchester. Is that where you guys all met the first time, or have you met before? In previous
Grindr.
Comic-Cons? Yeah.
Why is
I
that
met,
my
I met
met
Bryan
you
and
for the
Amelia.
first time, yeah.
Manchester for the first time.
Yes.
And they were nice enough to let me hang out with them again. So
Do we
I
meet
didn't
at your
upset
house?
anybody too much.
I met at their house.
Yeah, Troy came over for a stream of Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah.
And right before Troy came over, we said, we need to paint this wall blue. I don't know why we decided. We're like, if Troy Baker's coming to your house, you better not have all white walls.
It is
At
on my
least-
writer. I was like, that's a lovely blue wall. And Amelia was like, thank you. See?
We were talking about before you guys came on. We were having a serious chat before you guys came on. And we're talking about not that it can't be serious now, so I'm going to bring it back, and then we'll bring it up, and we'll bring it down, and we'll bring it up again. So serious chat. We're talking about meaningful themes in Detroit and things like that. What are the most meaningful games you think that you guys have worked on? Meaningful games where you've gone, oh God, this is an important one. Nolan?
I have to go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pointed this way, so.
Meaningful. I don't know if the first one that I get a lot of people will talk about Spec Ops, the line.
Dude.
That was one of the first ones that I can recall, or at least fans tell me about, that was a real psychological mind twist, we'll call it.
Good man.
Because Walt Williams, who wrote it and directed it, he's come from a family of military. I know his brother's a soldier, and he said one thing that was wrong with games is that when you have a choice, sometimes it's like the right choice or the wrong choice. And as a soldier in battle, and sometimes your options are both going to turn out sour. Let's say just that there is no good choice, but you have to make a decision. And I think that's one of the things about Spec Ops that I remember hearing about so much of, like, there's a famous white phosphorus scene. There's no good choice. Something bad that affects you, and that it was one of the first games that spoke to PTSD and things that a lot of this post-traumatic stress that a lot of military go through, and I think that it was a deep impact for a lot of people.
What about you, Troy? Over to you.
I've been fortunate that several of the games that I've been in, I just happened to get in at the right time where either the culture was ready for it or the studios were ready to be really, really bold and audacious. And especially at this 1 year where it was BioShock Infinite, Last of Us, shortly after was Arkham Origins, and then also Persona 4. Yeah, okay. BioShock Infinite had one of the, speaking of choices, in the very beginning, if you played the game, you have the choice to either throw the ball at the interracial couple or not. And that was a bold choice for someone like Ken Levine to make, and he was like, I wanted it to be visceral. And it's within the first 20 minutes of the game, 15 minutes of the game in the boardwalk when you do that. Obviously, with The Last of Us, you had a very profound scene that happens in the very beginning. And then Persona 4, to be able to have a character like Kanji that so many people have resonated with and related to, because we all have it, as I told this to somebody in the line today, we all have a shadow version of ourselves that we try to at first wrestle with and fight and be in conflict with, and then we finally understand that it's something that we need to own, that there's two sides of ourselves, and it's okay to be duplicitous in some ways. So I don't know how to answer the question, because there's meaningful to people who have played it, and there's meaningful to me. Those games changed my life, fundamentally and unilaterally. But I think that what we're starting to see, and dude, I enjoyed the hell out of playing Detroit, because everything in that game is about choices, decisions, and the consequences of those, and the fact that the reason why we play is because we want to have agency. Sometimes because we can't have agency in our life, or we don't feel that we have the agency in our life, we find that, and that's why we play. That allows us to regain control of our own lives. So every game that I play, or every game that I'm in, has a significant level of meaning for me. I think it just varies for the people that are playing it. It's a long answer to a very important question.
No, it's a good
we could do a
answer.
panel just on that.
No, it's a good answer.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Nolan a question, because I was watching Quasimodo Shrek Super Slam. So I was watching this little clip, and it really, really reminded me of Bobcat Goldthwait in Police Academy.
Yeah, I think that may have been what I based that off
Is
of.
that what
I don't remember it very well, but
Deep cut.
yeah, that's one of those. Reminds me how old I'm getting.
I just thought, oh my God, Police
Yeah.
Academy is. How do you?
I don't remember it, but I remember it might have been like a Bob Quat. I think we did something like that, didn't we? Yeah, it was kind of, yeah.
do you go about when you take on a role, all of you, like do you, if it's particularly if it's a voice role, do you are you influenced by other people's voices, people that you meet here, experiences? Like, where do you find that voice?
I don't know. I think any. I mean, I like the artwork. I don't know anybody else, but I love the artwork and just kind of make it up. And it may come out of. I've done characters that were my uncle from Boston. Characters. There's a number of characters that are mostly thugs that are guys I went to high school with. Yeah, I mean, I think my ears are always perked up listening to different accents, timbers, things like that. I take mental notes probably. There's a waiter that my wife and I go to this restaurant that he's going in a game somewhere. I just haven't found the right one. But yeah, he's definitely going to be there one day.
I had a question about, because each of you guys, have this really amazing community online. Like, it's such a welcoming and lovely community, especially like on YouTube, which can be a horrible place. Had my fair share of horrible comments. And you guys have fostered this amazing community, and you guys have got your awesome community as well. Bryan and Amelia, I just wanted to ask, how did the Connor Army start? How did your community start? And what is the vibe of your community if you were to sell it to someone? And what is the ethos of your community?
I think what started the community was artwork. People started to send us artwork that they had made of the different characters, and we started to do fan art streams. And I think that's the beginning of what grew to be the Dechart Games family, was from art and people expressing themselves through artwork. And in many different formats, not just painting or sometimes sculpting, sometimes it's nail art, sometimes it's face art, but expressing themselves creatively. And I think the general vibe of our community would be inclusion and creativity and a support for one another through positivity.
I like that. What about you guys? How do you keep it so positive, especially on YouTube?
We pay everyone.
They're all bots.
But I like your idea too. Where's my replayers at? I see people over here. Yeah, man. Anybody watch Call of Duty? Okay. This is what we signed up for. We signed up to foster a community, and this is something that is pervasive throughout this culture right now. This is why everyone is here, by the way, literally within the four walls of this building, is because come Monday, you're going to walk into school, university, job, home, and there may be a version of yourself that you have to be there. But here, there's a lot of people that will be their truest selves within these 72 hours in these four walls. And what we try to do and what you guys are trying to do is to give you, look, the world is not safe, okay? So I don't believe that the world should be a safe space, but within the world, let's find some safe spaces so that we can go into that cave and find shelter and warmth. And Dechart Games Retro Replay, those are caves within the world. And if you're a gamer, you always got to go inside the cave at some point, either to slay a dragon or find some treasure. And we just want to be one of those places that you can do one of those two things.
Cool. It definitely feels like both. I've stepped into your Twitch streams many times, and I've watched you guys many times on YouTube, and it definitely feels like that. So thank you. Thank you very much for creating such amazing spaces.
Moreover,
Now,
thank you to you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point, like, we get a lot of questions about this and a lot of panels and stuff, but like, it's not Amelia and I making, maybe it is making 300,000 accounts, but it's us and then all of you guys. And so it's at the end of the day, it's games, right? I mean, like, none of us, there are many, many noble pursuits. And what we're focusing on here, and I really think is a super, super important thing, is like, life is brief, and we have to be grateful for the moments that we have together, and positivity, and playing games is a really great way to go from moment to moment to moment, and you're always actively on the edge of your seat making choices. And that's real life too. You're always making real choices every moment that have consequences, and you can choose to, have, maybe you don't always get a good outcome, but if you play the positive in the way you approach all of that, it's for the last year and a half, it's been a really, really awesome exercise, for me anyway, to focus on that and make it a mantra. And I love that there's a Connor Hank right here. You look so good.
You've been drawing my eye for the entire time. I was like, that's just, if you can sound like Clancy Brown, oh my God.
I love it. I asked online, your fans some questions. So I've got some questions from Instagram and Twitter here. Then we're going to play a game.
Oh boy.
And it does involve voices, obviously, and then we'll hand it out the floor. So, this is for all of you. Well, all of you actually. Is Troy's faux hawk as soft as it looks? From Tristanio on Twitter. Amelia, can we do a faux hawk test?
And is it a faux hawk?
That's
this
a mohawk.
Shit is for real.
That's a real hawk.
It's actually bouncing. It's so bouncy and
It
shiny.
is absolutely 100% not inspired by Hawkeye from Endgame, but or it's 100% inspired by
I sit next to it more often than I like, and it's mesmerizing.
Jeremy Renner. I've always really admired Jeremy Renner's work, and then I saw Endgame. I was like, I have a feeling that's confusing me right now, because when he shows up, I was like, oh no, oh no. I had a long talk with my wife, and I was like, are you cool if just like for Brad Pitt and Jeremy Renner, I am 100% gay? Because he stepped out of the shadows. I was like, I want all of those tattoos and that haircut. So yeah, is it soft?
Can you confirm, Amelia?
Oh, yes.
It's
yes,
fire
it is,
bone.
it is quite soft.
I mean, it looks like I'm mesmerized by the faux hawk right
I'm
now.
amazed that it doesn't feel like it has tons of product in it.
No.
Yeah, it looks soft.
It's just I'm like just willpower.
Looks like little animals would live in it
It does.
happily, like in a
Whimsical
Disney movie.
woodland creatures.
Like a little hamster or
Little
something.
Disney hamsters.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is so soft.
Troy, Nolan, this is one for you from Zariam. Would you ever want to do a retro replay episode with Bryan and Amelia?
Yes, of course.
I just see my eyes dance just a little bit just then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be up for it. Yeah, are you kidding?
I don't know. We have to have a meeting.
Yeah.
We're in.
can't
We're
be-
in,
okay.
we're in.
Sweet.
Yeah, always. We this is what we want to do, is collaborate with friends and make good content with people that are good creators.
I look forward to that episode. This is for all of you. I've observed that Troy and Nolan love a nice pint of Guinness when across the pond. What's your favourite thing about the UK, or is there something you'd like to try that you can't try in America? Go for it.
Somebody says Marmite, I'll punch you.
There was something that we had last time. I think they're called matchsticks, but they're a chocolate stick, a caramel, salted caramel, and it was kind of smoky, and it was amazing.
But not pokey.
No, it breaks in half, and you eat it.
All right.
It's food,
It's like novelty chocolate.
candy.
Right. But what they're called, matchsticks?
Matchsticks, right? Yes, yes.
Pocky. I'm talking about Pocky. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, don't shake your head. Because you all obviously know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Piper, for being the one person that was like, yes, you're wrong, but yes. Don't give those to me. I don't know. People are like, do you want these? I'm like, no.
We've got another one. This is for Bryan and Amelia from Plays C on Twitter. What made you start going to Comic Cons?
We were invited. We said yes. I would like to do that. I mean, it's an insanely cool thing, you guys. The fact that these games are released, you play them all around the world, and then enough of you think it would be a good idea to import us to whatever country you're in and invite us to come and hang out for the weekend. It's a really, really cool thing. So thank you for even wanting us to be here. It's fantastic. It's really cool. Woo!
Yeah, woo yourself.
This one is from Des Reeg on Instagram. It's for it's for all of you. Is there a character from any game you worked on that you have related to in real life? Deep.
Well, like David in Last of Us, I am a meat eater.
What about you guys?
I mean, go.
I play a small character in Red Dead Redemption 2, which you've named Jimbo, and I'm afraid of Roger Clark now. Who's here, by the way, and looking very handsome. I don't know, to answer more seriously, like I gained a lot of confidence and I would say bravery working on Connor, because there's so many things that Connor says and does with such conviction that I would never be able to like say to Clancy Brown directly to his 6'8" face or what. And he's huge, and he's got you, by the collar, and you have to say like, no, and it's just like I learned a lot. I think I definitely became a more confident person working on that game for sure.
I would just close it up by saying I think as an actor, how many actors are out there? Okay, cool. Yeah, look at that.
Right on.
That's confidence right there. The people that shot those hands up, that's what it takes, by the way. If you do it with any trepidation, next time, shoot it up. You are one. People are like, I'm trying to learn how to be an. I was like, just you are. That's who you are. Bingo. Looking at you. The goal is to always find something about that character that you really, really relate to. If I may quote you, never try to be this character. Be you. If you have to play a lawyer, don't be Jan the lawyer, unless the character's name is Jan. Be you as that character that just happens to be named Jan. Does that make sense? It's you inserting. They hired you to do that job, so be you in that job with those choices and that dialogue and that name. Make sense? Okay.
Thanks. Right, last one from the fans for Bryan and Amelia from UK fangirl Jade on Instagram. If Connor and Tracy were animals, which would they be and why? Ooh.
Connor would be a dog.
Yes. What about you, Amelia? What would Tracy be?
My first instinct was a wolf.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you
Because
like a kind of puppy dog? Yeah? And you'd be like
I don't know, just a super loyal, happy to see
Like a
you.
lab,
Yeah,
just like
just
a.
like a golden retriever
Yeah.
or something, just always optimistic and a little clueless, but happy to be there.
No. We're gonna
That's
play-
a lab.
Yeah, okay, it's a
Definitely
lab.
a Labrador.
A lab. Final answer.
So we're gonna play a game now. Are you ready? Okay,
Sure.
so you're team 1, you are team 2.
Okay.
So somebody has to be the person doing the voices, and someone has to be the person who's guessing. So just decide now who does the voices and who's doing the guessing.
Okay. We'll do this. Well, I mean, like right now.
Yep.
Do the voices.
You do the voices. You're doing the
Okay.
guessing.
I'll do
Okay,
the
cool.
guessing.
Right, you cannot look at the screen if you're the guesser. What about you guys? Who's doing the voices?
Oh, I see.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Maybe the voice.
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
So I have to do
Okay.
the voices?
All right, I'll do the
Yeah,
voices.
so this is called Say That Movie. Look at those Photoshop skills right there, you guys. Sorry, Troy, you got
This is
the wrong idea
horrifying.
there.
Is that my face?
I can't. I'm not supposed to see. I'm not supposed to
No, no, you
see.
can look at this. You can
Don't look! Don't look! You're the dog.
I felt you made.
No, you're the baby. That's a baby?
That's scary good, by the way.
It's good, right? That took me all of 30 minutes
Wow.
to look up.
That
So,
is a-
I mean, Nolan, that looks like it's just a photo of you with the rest of us photoshopped in.
Honest God, I'm kind of I'm like, I should let my hair grow.
I'm actually.
You make a
digging that
great
here.
Ted Danson.
I mean, my face is clearly on backwards. This is weird. I don't know. Tis a silly place.
So,
That's amazing.
That looks just like Traveler.
Can we have the
Does.
guessers standing at the front here, please?
All right.
Guessers, you're the guesser as well.
Guessers.
Yeah, so you're gonna be guessers.
All right.
Right, okay. Okay, so team 1 is going first, and that's Troy and Nolan.
All
so
right.
don't look at the screen.
Not looking at the screen.
You can look at the screen at the moment. You're fine.
All right.
Okay, so what we're gonna do
Yes.
is you're gonna be given 5 films. Okay.
This is gonna
you're
go
gonna
so
mimic-
poorly.
I love these games. You're gonna mimic a voice from the film Nolan. Okay. You're not allowed
The
to.
Okay.
film Nolan.
You're
In theaters now.
You're not
He
allowed
was
to
one
say
man.
a line from the film. You're not allowed to say a line from the film, and you're not allowed to say a character from the film, okay? But you
Okay.
can describe what happens in the film.
Okay.
Okay, can we film number 1, please? Do not look, Troy. This is film number 1.
Buckaroo Banzai. Next.
All right, go on, Nolan. Right.
Back to the Future.
Oh!
All day, y'all.
Whoa!
All day.
Whoa! It's over.
We're screwed. Okay, film number 2, please. Film number 2. This might be quite difficult, but go for it. All right.
Oh,
okay.
Jesus. Amelia, you're not supposed to look at the screen.
No, it's
Just say it. Just say the name of the movie.
Wait. It's just those guys first.
Oh!
Okay, go on. Right, Nolan.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make soap. Gonna make
Fight
soap.
Club.
Yeah.
Choose his words.
Next
Choose his
film,
words.
please. This is going to be quite easy, I think. Okay, next film. You can
Was
do
it
this
Twilight
one.
or something?
You can do this one.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I have to mimic, right?
Yep, go on.
All right. Even though from down under,
Far away.
hold on. Even though from down under, I'm going to Rome.
Oh.
Gladiator.
Hey! Okay, next film, please. Next film for Nolan, please. Okay.
I got this.
One
Okay.
of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Dude!
Oh, Bill and Ted's.
Yeah.
88, bitches. What's up? I'm 3 for 3.
Next film, please. Right, this is the last one, you guys. Can you make it 5 out of 5?
Oh, is that 4 out of 4?
I
Okay,
want to
let's
see
go
if I
for
can do it with just. I'm going to try to do it with just one word.
Okay, go on.
Mama.
Forrest fucking Gump.
I love you.
5 out of
No matter
5.
what happens, I still love you.
Well done.
I'm so nervous now.
Oh yeah.
Right, okay. Can we have film number 1
great.
for
I didn't-
Bryan
I didn't
and
hear the
Amelia?
two
Don't
voice.
look. Don't look.
Mama.
I hope there's a whole bunch of historical fiction coming up.
All right.
Film number 1 for Bryan and Amelia, please.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Clueless.
Yes!
Yes. Film number 2, please. Oh, easy.
Fun home.
That's a line.
Oh, you said the line for the film. You said the line for the
E.T.
film.
That was a rule?
That's
Yeah.
a line from the movie.
All right, scrap it. I didn't know that was a rule because you're not talking into your mic.
Oh!
MC.
Wow.
No
Do we
one
have
heard it.
do we have a backup one, or is that one just scrapped?
that's
All right, throw it away. We don't
Okay.
want it. We don't need it.
Next one, next one.
Big money, big money. Oh, what a lovely boat.
Titanic?
Yes!
Yes.
Wow. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Next film, please. Next film. I love this. Okay.
All right. I love you. What the fuck is that? What was that?
I love you.
I love you, Amelia. I don't know. Oh, no. You know that moment when you're on stage at Comic-Con and everyone can do this impersonation and you just don't know what to do?
Star Wars?
You should see the amount of character prep that's happening right now behind you.
My actor hand is not going up like this.
Oh! Terminator?
What? Yes.
All right.
Okay, next one, please.
She's looking at the reflection in someone's glasses, I think.
No.
Next one, please. Okay, go for it.
Terminator 2.
a friend in me.
That's fine.
Is that allowed?
That's acceptable.
Okay, wait.
got a friend in me.
Why are you...
Isn't that how he sounds?
Why is Grover singing this song?
Is that Grover?
Oh, Toy Story.
Okay.
Okay, last one.
I really don't want to break the rules again.
Last one. We got the last one? Oh,
I'm afraid we're going to need a ruling.
Lilo and Stitch?
Dude, I'm really impressed with you guys right now.
I'm impressed with you guys. I was like, we're fucked.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little starstruck and nervous. We got a Hank and Connor
Okay,
combo.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so what the rules are nothing, no lines from the movie.
No lines from the movie.
No characters.
Can't
No
say
ca-
character name. You can't say a character.
I mean, is music allowed or no?
All right.
I mean, it's
That's
not,
in the
it's not a
movie.
voice. I get it. Okay. How about this? Boo!
I'm sorry. We all will get it if you don't.
Wait. Do it again.
Boo!
That sounds so dodgy.
That's really good, actually.
That sounds like my honeymoon night, by the way.
Monsters. Monsters
TMI.
Inc.
What?
Monsters Inc.
No, that's adorable, but no.
No, it's Ghostbusters.
No, it's Ghostbusters. It's okay.
Round of applause. I think Troy knows.
Woo!
Well done. Well done. That was Say That Movie, you guys. Say That
It's
Movie.
adorable. Look at this family.
That was really impressive.
So, we have
If we
time.
made a game, would you buy it? Would you play it? This game? You would? Okay.
Do you want me to send you this? I will send
No,
you
Yes,
no.
No,
actually,
please
yes.
don't give us
Last
that
time-
nightmare
the
fuel.
last
Better
time I ever seen
burn
it.
that.
I just
Guys.
wish I wish
What
I
would
had
the
I
object
wish I
of
had
that
the
game
mustache.
be?
Oh, yeah, I should have put a mustache.
The Tom Selleck mustache. I just want to know what I look like.
I'm
Maybe
pro-
just take one of my eyebrows off and put it down there.
Brian, I'm really feeling this right now. I'm really feeling that right now.
It makes me so uncomfortable. I've seen some weird Photoshop of myself, guys, and this is the weirdest one yet.
It kind of it looks like kind of got the Nathan Fillion thing going on right there. It's just that hair.
Troy looks just so happy. He's with his dad. He's just so happy. Right, guys, we've got time for fan questions, right? So stick your hands up and I'll come down and get you. Right, hello, lovely lady. Who have you got a question for?
Well, everybody really. I was just interested, games where the players can kind of change the character's personality based on dialogue choices. How do you approach that as an actor where you're essentially playing different versions of the same character?
Thank you.
After you.
Okay. Thanks. That's the kind of session that you have to really rely on the director for the context of the situation. There's a number of games where that kind of happens, but it's fun. You just get to explore the different. There's a number of games that I know, like Old Republic is one of those games where you have to kind of give 3 different versions of just about every line, depending on how you want to play. So if you want to, my favorite is the jerk Jedi that I do, because he's just cold and ruthless. And, no, I don't care if you're all dead. Otherwise, he can show sympathy or he can just be horrible. So that's when you really rely on your director and the writers who hopefully are there or on the phone saying, just tell me how to do it and I do it.
Over here, you guys. We've got a question over here. Hello.
Hello. Thank you all for your work. I'm curious that as an actor or as actors yourselves, what qualities do you most appreciate in those you're working with?
Define those that we work with. Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Fellow actors.
Yeah.
May I? The late great Sir Richard Burton was once quoted as saying, "I will give you everything, but if you give me nothing in return, I will take it from you." That's the kind of actor that I want to be, and that's the kind of actor that I want to work with. One that is always constantly giving you something, as opposed to being closed off and wrapped up in their own process. It's constantly looking at you, constantly, do you see what's happening on my face? What is that inspiring within you? So people that I love to work with are people that change my choices constantly, make me question my choices in the moment, and then people that are collaborative partners, whether that be the director, the writer, fellow actors, whatever. I want to find people, and I love working with people that pull the best out of me, and that want for me to pull the best out of them.
Thank you very much. Over here this time. Okay, what do you want to ask?
All right, so as communities grow, I mean, it gets much harder to speak to individual fans. So what do you think, what do you feel? Do you feel some sort of sadness in that as your community grows, it's much harder to appreciate every single individual? Do you have what do you feel in terms of that?
Thank you.
I think that's super important. That was something that in the very beginning, I was just amazed after the game came out and things took off, and then there were more and more people coming, and then it almost felt like we were losing people. They were still there, but all the familiar names, people, there's Ricky Knives, if you're here, like, Ricky Knives exists out there somewhere and has been sort of disappeared. The cool thing about, we're now using Discord more, which is awesome because we can, I mean, our streaming setup is also growing so that we, it's on more and more monitors, and so we're kind of doing like this while we stream, but you can have all these different chats open on Discord. So while we're streaming, what's really cool is that there have become these totally different communities based off the rooms they prefer to hang out in, and so Jericho is absolute chaos a lot of the time, and memes, and Zen is a much more chill kind of place, and so people can find these different homes. And then of course there's the main stream on Twitch where anybody and everybody can come, and what I think is really cool and what solves that problem of people getting like lost as the community gets bigger and bigger is that we kind of fade out of being the most important part of it, and everybody else is there for each other. It's like, oh yeah, Bryan and Amelia are streaming again, or oh, we're here for the Retro Replay stream, but we're recognizing now, because the community's getting so big, oh, well, this is this person, and then relationships, like real friendships are being forged between people, even in the DMs or on other platforms and all this. So I think that as a community gets bigger, I like to think it's really getting deeper, that it's getting to be more of like a densely connected thing, because there's always gonna be people that show up, check it out, and then leave. But the people that stick around and are really like truly like the base of it, it's actually just getting tighter and tighter and tighter, which is super cool.
Yeah, I think one thing that we, Troy actually came up with is, for us, it's not about the game, it's about the hang. Yeah. And in the same way, just saying it a little differently, Troy and I started, we're the game, and the hang is out there in the community, and it's growing, and there's just good people and kind people, and we're almost getting, I think as the community grows, we get more feedback from that community as a whole, and it helps shape the next t-shirt, it helps shape the next topic and things like that, and I think, we may have been the impetus that it starts, but it literally kind of reverses itself, and the community runs us and what we want, and that's it's, you guys are the most important thing, to each other.
Next question. Thank you very much. Thanks for your question.
Oh, thank you, Troy Baker, for giving a wonderful performance for Kanji Tatsumi. God, he's one of my favorite characters. Oh God, I'm so touched. But speaking of Kanji Tatsumi, what's your? I mean, like, there are multiple fans who come to you, thank you for Kanji Tatsumi. What was your initial thoughts when you were given the role for him? Actually, yeah.
Great question. If I may be honest with you, I saw the comedy, and Atlas being incredible creators and very careful creators stopped me about a quarter of the way through the session, and it was like, we want to go back. I was like, oh, okay. They're like, don't make fun. I was like, oh, I wasn't meaning to make fun. I was just having fun with it. They were like, yeah, we want you to be serious. I'm like, this is a really fantastical character. I mean, look at him and like, yeah, find a way to make, you need to be serious about this. I was like, okay. And I thought they were wrong. And then as we kept going and got deeper into the game, I was like, oh, I was so wrong about this. And then in the aftermath, like I finished the job, I think it's done. I was like, that was cool. Personally satisfied me, I liked it. And then articles came out about the game. And game journalists started writing about what the game meant to them. And I had no idea the response that it would get. I was the pebble dropped into the water, and the community was the ripples. And I was like, holy shit, this is really resonating with a large amount of people. And he's a side character, right? I mean, you can play him, but it's still not the main story in the game. So my original concept and my original take on the character was 100% wrong, and it goes back to what you're talking about, is depending upon the context that's given to you by your creators, and then finding people that you can collaborate with that can help guide you and pull the best out of you. Otherwise, I would have been left left to my own devices, you would have been left with a character that is such a derivative of what it could have been, and such a reduction of what it could have been. So those are the kind of creators and the collaborators I like to work with.
Thank you very much. We've got time for 2 more questions. I've got this gentleman here, and then 1 more I'm going to get from the back. But you remember, you can meet these guys, get your autograph signed, and things like that, and you can ask them anything you want then. So you first.
If there's a time issue, feel free to skip this. But I was going to say, if there's any character that you haven't played but wish you could, I was going to ask what character would that be and why?
Dressed as you, go.
What? Yeah, I guess so. I would love to play a character in the Star Wars universe. Really, that's kind of my dream role. Or a character that looks absolutely nothing like me. It's really cool that Connor does share my likeness, but the coolest thing to me about performance capture is that you can be Smaug or Gollum or, something like that. Some creatures would be fun.
I would love to play a character with some kind of magical power, like if I could read people's minds or if I could speak with animals, someone that has a supernatural element to them.
Cool. What about you guys? Troy, Nolan?
Nolan?
I'd like to play Indiana Jones type treasure hunter guy who could climb.
5-game deal.
Yeah, something like that would be cool.
Cool. Troy?
He's played all of them. He's played literally every possible character.
I was really there's a new project that's starting up, and I was really drawn to the project because I was going to play a blind character, and then they just changed the character, and so I have been unabashed about this and unashamedly pitched myself for this directly to Marvel Games. If they ever do a Daredevil game, Matt Murdock, please just give me a chance. Just give me a chance. I love what Charlie Cox did with the character. I just want to, as a gamer, I want to play that game, and as an actor, I want to play that character. Oh, are you kidding me? It would be incredible.
Cool, thank you. Okay, one last question. Okay, go for it.
Make it a good one.
Hello, Nolan.
Hello?
That's like an arch nemesis. Hello, Nolan.
Hello, Newman.
I gotta say, I like the Uncharted games. You played as Nathan Drake.
Yep.
What do you think about the Uncharted movie that's coming out next year that's played by Tom Holland?
I don't think it's coming out next year. There's no
You know
script.
something that we don't?
There's no, I mean, there's no script, no director, and it's going to take a lot longer than 12 months to make a movie. So I don't know if or when a movie will come out. I'm not really privy to that. I will tell you that I think their idea of visiting Nathan Drake in his 20s, which we've never seen, and leaving the movies, the games to be the movies that they are on their own, is a great idea. Where was Drake in his 20s? Take some creative license. Tom Holland, I've heard nothing but great things about him, and I think he, could do a great job. And I the first in line to get a ticket.
Thank you very much. Now, guys, I want to hear the hugest round of applause for the lovely Nolan North, the lovely Bryan Dechart, the wonderful Amelia Rose Blaire, and the frigging awesome Troy Baker. Let's do it!
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you!
And thank you.
And thank you, Don.
Just deal with this later, maybe. Thank you, guys. Thank you, London. Thank you, MCM.